That's your rapper. You rapper.
When you guys,
sure.
when you guys talk about sports, I'm just like, it sounds like this to me. Wah, wah,
It's a
wah,
different
wah,
language.
wah, wah,
Well, you
wah.
better be hip to what's going on in the sports world, especially the big sports.
I
shows.
know. I need to. Honestly, when I saw it, I didn't understand it. You know what I mean? I was like, why is everybody? I'm confused. Why
I
are they
was
mad?
making such a big deal about it? Well, I mean, because Magic Johnson is who he is, a legend, right? For the NBA and just a legendary athlete. Yeah, just
but for me though, I was thinking like that's the way you go out. I know everybody's mad, but I'm like sometimes you feel it and you just do it on the air. You're never allowed to do it
on the business side, but on the sports side, it's so much emotions.
Yeah, that's true. People are. I mean, and that's what I was reading the comments. Like people felt like he cheated on them. Like that's what the betrayal level sounded like to me.
Now they're not gonna burn any Magic Johnson jerseys.
They're not gonna pull.
They're not gonna burn no Magic Johnson jerseys.
But I think he was the hope that the franchise would get back to what it used to be.
A leader.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, here's what's also going on in the world. Zoe, you talk about this: forced vaccinations and celebrating your 11-year-old son coming out by taking him to a gay pride parade. That's what we're talking about this evening.
How can you force me to take a vaccination? All right.
We're going to talk about that.
Just thought about what you just said. Adverse Reaction tonight is being brought to you by American Life, where anything can happen.
Yeah, anything can happen. Like all of a sudden, you're forced to take vaccinations. Here's what happened. You guys know measles are on the rise in America. I think it's over 400 cases since January. That's a big deal.
Ridiculous.
Now,
I heard 32 in Washington, D.C.
32 cases.
For real?
That was big in New York.
It is. That's where we're about to go because in New York City, the mayor, he said now they have to have mandatory measles shots, vaccinations. If not, they can face $1,000 fine. But in fairness, specifically in this area of Brooklyn, there is a Hasidic Jew community there, and they've been having an outbreak of measles. And so what the authorities in New York are saying is that they've gone to the area, tried to do multiple things such as education and offering a way to try to like stop the measles. And this is how people are getting them. Because remember back in 2000, our authorities said measles are eradicated in
we found the cure.
USA.
Yeah.
It's over.
I thought it was over like 82.
You still being vaccinated.
You was vaccinated.
Yeah.
You were vaccinated. You would not been able to go to school. No, it wasn't the booty.
Was it your
They
arm,
do your arm,
shoulder?
yeah. And if you're really young, your leg. You don't know. Trust me. You wouldn't have been in school if you weren't vaccinated for this. But anyway, so that's how they said, hey, USA, we don't have it anymore. Well, what they're noticing is people are going overseas, catching it and bringing it back here. And because a lot of people aren't optioning for vaccinations, they're catching it. So I needed to unpack those facts first. So again, Mayor de Blasio said, get vaccinated or face $1,000 fine.
And is New York
and
the
it is
highest
an emergency.
The highest cases?
Yes.
Okay.
They're having the highest cases. And again, specifically in this particular area where they're not vaccinating. And Passover's on the way.
Well,
so
they typically don't vaccinate, period, whether it's measles or anything else.
But if you have in your community a disease that's circulating, and then remember Passover is a huge celebration, your family's there. I mean, that's which you know one of the huge celebrations.
Question.
It can all go around.
Question. Do you think that they just happen to
what you trying to say, Zoe? What's this hand? Okay. He's emotional.
Do you really think that they just infected each other, or do you think they were infected?
That's so what authorities are saying is, let's say you go take a trip somewhere out the country.
Right.
Then your child contracts it, come back
to the neighborhood.
Now it's passed around. Yeah. And so because people haven't been vaccinated, again, 2000, it's eradicated. We don't need to do this anymore. A lot of people aren't vaccinated. Now, here's what I want to ask you guys. On my Facebook page, literally yesterday, which was crazy to me, the timing of this, this guy, Bruce, he said, where do you stand with anti-vaxxers? You guys know that term, right?
Yeah.
Where do you stand? And
I was going to ask as a parent, like, what if you
What are we saying?
So, yeah.
Well, let me say the second part of his comment. The second part of his comment was, I hope we have the same opinion.
Right.
And let me tell you why he said that, right? I said, well, I hope we do too, because it's like people get angry. I've seen some people say they don't believe in vaccinations.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden people boycott them. And you have some people that do believe it. And then other people are like, you're not educated. Like it's a heated debate. So tonight will be my first time ever talking about in a public, because I talk about it very comfortably with my friends. I think we probably talked about it, Zoe, since you're a parent. This was my first time talking about it publicly. So who are we going to start with? Let's start with Zoe.
1-800-450-7876. 1-800-450-7876. That's for all our reactors that want to chime in.
Yes.
But as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to vaccines, I'm nervous. I know the government, quote unquote, wants us to get it done. I know the school system wants us to get it done. I have doubts. I have doubts. I have questions. And did I get vaccinated when I was youth? Truth.
You did.
Truth. Do I want, would I get it now? False.
Interesting.
You know, and that's
Why
just
is
me.
that?
That's just me. Not do I do it for my children? Because I got multiple. Do I do it for my children? I don't know. It depends if I'm in a situation where I have to.
Is your son vaccinated?
At one point he was, yeah. Definitely.
At one point.
Yeah,
Well,
because
yeah,
Well, I
you know,
think at this age, he doesn't have to really be, though.
well,
No.
now they want you to do it.
Yeah.
Like even
So-
in high school.
Okay, so here's what we're talking about, right? Okay. First, can we say something as a sidebar before I mean, because it's like, I feel so heavy. Before I go into like where I stand, I want to say this. It scares me to hear that there's a mandatory vaccination. That scares me.
Yeah.
Because what if now it's not measles, it's something else?
Right. It's always gonna be something.
It's all, that's
Yeah.
where I get concerned that it's like, wow, I'm gonna have to pay $1,000 because I may not trust what I'm receiving. So now there's all these people are coming up. You see kids are arguing with their parents, saying my parent, one kid was in front of Congress and was like, I'm angry my parents didn't vaccinate me. So as soon as I turned 18, I got my shots.
Oh.
Did you guys see this? This was like what, last month?
Wow. I heard about it. I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for us, you know, with my son, like I said, remember I talked to you guys about our pediatrician. She's Eastern and Western medicine. Does that make sense? So she has the
Best of both worlds.
The best of both worlds. Now, here's what she said on vaccination. When we first, you know, had them, they start vaccinations like early, like 3 months, right? Sometimes even, depending on your doctor, they might try to get it sooner. Well, she said this. She was like, look, are you planning to travel out of America? Right. I was like, no, not anytime soon. She said, well, he's not on drugs or having sex. So we can eliminate this
Not
shot.
yet.
I swear to God. That's what she said. She was like, now, if he was doing like intravenous drugs or intercourse,
Right.
then he would need like this these HEPs. We don't need these HEPs. Let's put off ABC. Let's put these shots off for now, right?
Yeah.
And she was like, so these are the ones. She was like, but if you look, because what they do when the baby, like the recommendations, at least in our area, it's top heavy the first couple of months, right? Like the first, I don't want to say first couple of months, but the first like 6 months of your baby's life, top heavy.
Right.
And then once you get a little later, there's like entire breaks.
Right.
Her
Years.
thing was, right.
Yeah.
But even in the first 2 years, there's some breaks. She was like, well, look, when he's about 18 months, nothing's going on there. I would recommend this. If you're worried about him having too much too soon, and I do say this, our concern was too many shots too soon. We wanted his immune system to develop more. So we really wanted him to be at least 3 months to 6 months before we even start the process. One of the things that happened with us is I have a friend of the family who the dad was against vaccinations. The mom wasn't. Neither one of them are American. I just want to say that because, you know, I think that can influence like your thought process, right? So he said no. The mom said yes. So the mom took the daughter the first time, snuck the daughter. And the dad said, what happened today while you were out? She's acting kind of weird. Like she seems lethargic. She said, oh, we went to the doctors and we got her shots. And he said, why would you do that? I told you, I just think they're dangerous. Don't do that again. Well, she went back a second time. And the daughter, when the daughter was lethargic, she got out of it like maybe a couple days later. The second time she went for the second round of shots, she never got out of it. And they determined she's autistic.
What? From it?
This is a personal family friend.
Oh.
They never said from it. This is what father said. My child, prior to shots,
Right, didn't have that
I
problem.
didn't even,
No
right.
issues.
No issues because he noticed the first day.
Yeah.
And so when you're doing research, people are saying, okay, well, it could be how many shots per time you're doing it. If you can kind of keep those numbers down, you have a better chance of your child's not shocking your child's system. So that was my like, I know these people. You know what I mean? I'm reading a book somewhere off the internet. I just know these people and what their story is, and him as a father, what he feels. I know doctors can say what they want. Luckily, when I spoke to my doctor about it, the money. When I spoke to my doctor about it, she was like, totally get it. You know, the truth is, babies handle things differently. And some babies can handle 4 or 5 vaccinations in a row. Some can't.
Some kids can swallow pills. Some kids can't.
And some can't. Now,
I was one of those people.
Yeah.
You could not?
Swallow pills?
But you couldn't swallow?
I sucked.
Yeah, a lot of kids did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I recently just been able to
like right
to
now.
Swallow?
Like when you was 40?
Yeah.
No, I get that. My son just learned how to swallow pills too. Yeah.
My thing.
So here's the other thing that happened to us. So we're spacing out our vaccinations. Now we notice our doctor gives him in his leg. Do you know that my son from his first year, and we're spacing them out, not that many at a time, still has a raised knot in his leg with hair growing around it that itches him to this day.
Are you serious?
I swear to God. And so from that, my husband was like, no more vaccinations. We were already kind of like, what's going on? And I took him to the doctor and asked about it. I said, what is this? She said, well, you know what happens? That means it's working. Sometimes what happens is the skin will, whatever she said didn't make me feel good, because the answers were put some calendula oil and you want to massage it. It's just like inflamed. You want to massage that down. To this day, I have to massage it to get it smaller than it was. And isn't it odd that there's a weird hair patch there? You don't think that's odd?
The doctor said calendula oil?
You know calendula?
I know what it is, but I'm surprised the doctor said that.
Remember I told you she's on
she's
on it.
East and West.
She's on it, East and West. So she was like, that's just a reaction that he's having. So I just feel like at the end of the day, I respect people's decision. I do understand when people are saying everybody should vaccinate because we have to keep people safe. I worry that we can't trust everything from everybody.
Talk.
Okay, that's what my worry is what is your batch? Because there have been times, and then the other thing, we hit the mic. Then the other thing is this, for example, a whole bunch of Americans went to Disneyland and then they got sick because they had a different version of the vaccine. I think it was German or some cats from somewhere else came with from another country came with their version of, I want to say it was the measles. And people were like, wait a second, I got my shots. Why am I getting sick? Because the vaccinations are for your area. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So then people who are vaccinated, it's like, oh, that's not the strand. Kind of like your flu shots y'all be getting.
Yeah. Not yours.
Oh, none of us do the flu shots. Okay.
For me, when I do have kids, I mean, I do believe in the power of medicine. So, I mean, but it depends though. I think you definitely have to know like what you're allergic to, because I think a lot of the things that you give your kids is genetics. So you have to know yourself. You got to know what your body can handle and what your partner, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I think those things will go into factor for me in the future.
Let me just say something real quick. I'm on YouTube Live. If you're on YouTube, it is YouTube Danella Now. So Keita on YouTube, I posed this question: vaccinations, yes or no? Keita wrote back 50-50. I want y'all to know she's a nurse. So if a nurse is saying 50-50, yo,
full-blown
she
surgeons
knows.
that will tell you that.
Right.
Full-blown surgeons will tell you. But they have to skate around the ice rink. Okay, I just made that up. They have to skate around
the ice rink. Listen, she just wrote, "Don't do the flu shot." She can administer it, and it's like, "Don't do it."
All the way, and you can go to Walgreens or CVS,
and they're like, "Get it for free."
The grocery store, come get it for free.
I'm not trusting it because all the people with the flu shot, when I worked in a newsroom, you guys know how they look like a typical type cubicle thing. You know what I mean? All the cats that got the flu shot at work got sick.
Yeah.
Except me, I didn't get that flu shot, and this
Because
was like
that's what
3
it's,
years in a row.
that's what it really it exposes your system to.
Right. And I'm not
The
talking
strain.
about the next day. Because you know how they say, oh, within the 3 days you'll get a little sick. So I'm
Yeah.
like, why y'all looking so sick?
Like right after the shot.
No, I'm talking about a month later, 2 months
Oh,
later,
wow, that's
Christmas
different.
time. Yes.
Oh, so that
Do you
means
understand
that
what I'm saying?
that wasn't
They-
a shot.
No, so that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Because what is happening is
Woo.
these viruses are mutating because of
Yeah.
the medicine that you're getting.
Right.
And so by the time your flu shot is in your body, guess what? That's last year's flu.
Mhm.
The new flu
Mhm.
is
Mhm.
different. So
Mhm.
even though the idea is if you get the shot, you won't get it as bad. Well, them people look sick and took days off. And you know, you don't take days off in the newsroom. So what was happening was people were still
Especially not
coming. No, did he take days off?
Oh yeah.
I think he just closed the door. I don't think he took
Yeah.
days off.
Well, he unlocked the door and sat down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he didn't take days off.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that was terrible. So it's like frowned upon. And so for me, I was lucky I had like a traffic closet, I called it. I think it really was a closet. But it had a door and I shut it and I just would never get sick. But when I would go in the newsroom, cats were sick. They probably still going
Like you
around
said,
with
like it's rare. Like, you know, we watch the news every day, right?
Mhm.
Morning, night, whatever.
Mhm.
And you see the same people there on a regular basis.
Mhm.
Unless they're on vacation, they're there. And for them to take off, it's like in radio. Like you don't really see people take off. Like, you know, you, Aladdin,
Mhm.
like we might have something going on, or but sick, like we try to.
We're not really sick.
Yeah, we might call in. We might.
Right.
We might not try to expose it to each other,
Right,
but we still
right.
want to
We
be
moving around.
Yeah, we still
Right.
moving around and trying to be present.
Right. So Aladdin,
Yes.
you don't have children yet.
No.
After all these things that you're hearing, the
Mhm.
information that you have,
That
because
you know of.
your child is going to be at a higher press for
Well, I believe in certain
Vaccinations.
things. I just think there's certain things that I kind of trust in, like measles, the
Yeah,
chickenpox,
that's what
we're
things
thinking.
like that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That you would
yeah,
get
yeah,
vaccinated for.
Yeah,
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
yeah. But the things that I don't believe that I would get for myself, I'm not going to get to my child.
Like flu.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Well, let me
That's-
tell you this: if you have a daughter,
Because
heads up, guys,
the flu is actually just a like a severe cold, right? Like
a
Yeah.
virus of
Yeah.
But
That's
if
what
you're
I'm saying.
weakened, like if it's a baby or you old and your lungs is weak,
yeah,
then
yeah,
it could take
yeah,
you out.
yeah, exactly.
Right. Because remember,
But-
Kim Porter passed away from what, pneumonia?
Yeah.
And so
Now,
you can
pneumonia's
have the
different.
flu, but you can
Yeah,
have the flu, and
yeah.
they say it could get
Pneumonia
into
is flu
pneumonia.
square. Pneumonia
Okay.
is flu square.
Oh, that's bad.
And flu is a cold square.
Okay, so
Yeah. So pneumonia
Yeah,
is
yeah,
cubed.
be a doctor.
Yeah.
Doctor
Well,
Joe.
So doctors. Okay, so I wanted to tell you guys this about Gardasil. You guys familiar with that?
Mhm.
So this is the vaccination that
You better go, Jay.
yeah, hold on one second, Jay. The Gardasil keeps the vaccination to stop your woman to have cervical cancer. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Cervical cancer. And so what they're doing is encouraging girls to have it. Well, when you look it up on the internet, do you know that vaccination has been what do they call it? Banned from different countries? Banned.
Mm.
Because some women have developed one, not able to have kids. One woman was unable to walk because what they were getting was some type of infection that could spread over their body. And they said, please don't come after me, FDA. I'm just telling you what I've read from these other countries, because I look up, if they're like, these are the vaccinations, I look up, what is this for? What could it do? I do agree with mumps and measles because I don't really see anything coming out of that. And then when I looked up, even if you want to alter your vaccinations, trying not to combine mumps, measles. I mean, you can do mumps, measles, rubella. That's 3, but then don't try to get some. There's these other ones called like Tdap, something like that.
The who? Why?
Zono. So they recommend all these like weird communicable diseases, but man, it's a toss up because I feel like you got to educate yourself. So I wanted to bring that up in case you guys get girls before you get it, because when you think about it, cervical cancer being preventative, remember that's a sexual disease.
Yeah, and they want to.
It's basically Shakita, if you're on, let me know. It's what are they called?
Well, Jay said she got into high school.
It's warts. So
Okay.
it's basically it's a
genital warts.
yeah, but
So it's
on
like-
the cervix.
But it's like herpes.
No, No.
It's different than that.
It's different. It's not herpes. It is genital warts. And so let's say a man has it.
Mhm.
He doesn't have any symptoms. He can more easily give it to a woman, and then her symptoms will be actual warts on her cervix.
Mhm.
And so what the doctor will try to do is freeze them off.
Mhm.
But what can happen is those warts can make it so that you're unable to have children or develop into cervical cancer.
Okay.
So that's
It's weirding me out.
but okay, well, hold on a second. But that's why they are doing a vaccine for it, because now it's like if you get this vaccine and you're under, man, I think it's 21. You have to be like between
But they're doing it so early though, like
Uh-huh.
even before these kids are
like
even
middle school. Mhm.
like they shouldn't even be having sex. I mean, you never know how young they are having sex.
Well, that's
so-
true. But the idea is that this could save her for her life. And there was one period where these commercials were on all the time.
I did say.
Remember that?
I did say.
Yes, get the right doctor, because even my doctor was like,
What's the right doctor?
you gotta, well, somebody who matches whatever your views are. So if you're somebody who
Mm.
trusts everything you see, then get your
I'm
doctor
big
to
on
do
Dr.
that.
Energy too.
Mm-hmm.
You better
Mhm.
talk.
Yeah. but-
Dr. Energy.
Dr. Energy. You
So what's
kinda
Dr.
feel-
Energy?
I don't know. It's just something you feel. You just feel like this person is about their patients.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I can't describe it, but you know.
Yeah, because
you
is that a
just-
real doctor? Like, is that somebody you go to? Like, this is my Dr. Energy.
Yeah, absolutely. Last name's Saver.
Okay, there you go.
Dr. Energy
Oh.
Saver.
Yeah. No.
No.
You serious?
No, he's not.
No.
You sound. I was about to
You got me,
say.
though. I was like,
I
yeah.
just
I
told
was
you're
like-
trying on a Dr. Energy.
Okay,
No, I'm talking
okay.
about the energy of the
I know
person.
that, but I'm just saying,
Okay.
like, do you have like somebody who represents that energy? You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yes, I
He's
know
like,
my
Dr.
doctor.
Energy Saver.
Because literally, I was like, you should switch to my doctor. It's Dr. WebMD. And he's always
Yeah,
around.
exactly.
Dr. Webber.
So that's
you
my
gotta be careful
primary
with-
care
you gotta be
physician.
careful. You know, a lot
Yeah.
of doctors, like, it's funny because doctors prescribe not to.
What do you mean, so
They,
prescribe not
they
to?
actually say, okay, with WebMD, be careful because you got to understand WebMD is kind of like a book, right? Like
Mhm.
It's
a
not
med-
even a book. You can go in and probably change some stuff like you do Wikipedia.
There we go. So look, that's where I'm going. That's where I'm going with it.
Yeah.
But that's why doctors are like, you got to be careful. Don't try to diagnose it with WebMD. Come see us. You know why? You
Why?
come see them?
Why? The money. They want the money.
And WebMD
Not
could
even that,
be
but
like
you know
Wikipedia,
what, though?
like
I
Alain
can't
said.
even say it's just the money though. But
Don't
I
talk about my primary care physician.
Yeah, no, I mean, you pay the money for someone that knows
It's not
what they're
about the
talking
I
about.
money,
think.
man.
Let me say this.
It's
if
not
you're
even.
sick,
It's about the knowledge. Like
if you're really sick, you should go to a specialist. Let's just be clear. If we're talking about some
Absolutely.
light stuff,
that makes me shocked.
or do the other
They
thing.
coming
Get,
for you, Sean.
no, yo,
Sean,
get
they coming
friends.
for you,
This is the
Sean.
real thing I do. I get
Yeah.
friends that are in the healthcare field.
I
That's
know
what
the
I do.
farmers
That
don't
mess
play.
up.
I swear, I'd be like, what do I sound like? Now I got a niece. She about to get her nursing degree, and she young. She up late.
No, but you know what? The thing I like about the ones who went and got the schooling, the education, and actually are, you know, that is their career, to have conversations with them because they're used to going on the books. They're used to going what their elders taught them, their teachers, their instructors, what they were schooled in, and what they signed off on. Because you got to understand, these doctors sign off on this
Mhm.
paperwork. So it's certain stuff that they can't really reveal to you, whether they know it or not. But the problem is a lot of them don't even know it. You know why? Because it's not in their interest to inform themselves.
Mm.
So you have people like Dr. Oz, and we can name 20 other doctors that go and like you said, you have a doctor that's East and West
Mhm.
and really favor, you know, alternative medicines and all, you know, just whatever, right?
Mhm.
So, but the problem is that the regular practitioner, the average
Regular.
pediatrician that you go to,
Mhm.
they're not necessarily caring about what they're saying over in the East.
In
or
America,
what's in
correct.
alternative
Right.
medicine.
But can I just say the East has been in medicine longer than we have? So why would you at least not?
And it's bigger than the East, right?
Well,
So
correct.
because the West has their own alternative medicine now, currently, right? Within the past 50 or 60 years, they have created their own
But It's also inspired by the East.
Definitely,
Mhm.
but because it's just from the ground up.
Mhm.
And what works,
Mhm.
works. And what
Mhm.
doesn't.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter if Danella or Aladdin has $1 million to give me to say, hey, if you prescribe this to your patients, then this is what I'll have for you,
Mhm.
and make you feel good about prescribing it. That's not what alternative medicine is about. It's really about, it's a problem. Let's figure out the solution. And what do we have that it really is out there in nature? Because when you really have a virus or a bacteria or a fungus that's from nature, there is an antidote in nature to cure it. Okay,
Right.
somebody talk to me. Judge.
Let's do this real quick one more time. 1-800-450-7876. Reactors, if you want to chime in again. We're talking about in New York City, mandatory vaccinations, hoping to stop the measles outbreak there. And it's leading us to the larger question on where do you stand on vaccinations? I can't with Zoe.
Hey, we're trending. We're
guys-
trending as well. Though. We're trending as well.
Again, we're on a YouTube live and Zoe's like
1-800-450-7876.
Aladdin, I'm gonna put the camera on you.
No, you
now.
can't.
This guy's wild. It's just scary though. I just get scary anytime the government says you have to do something that we say. I mean, I know there's laws, and at the end of the day, that's what laws are.
Yeah.
But especially when it's like my personal life, I mean, that's where a red flag for me is kind of saying, well, if we can do this now, let's add 50 years onto this. And now it's get this random shot for this made up thing because we need this in your body.
Well, let's not even go 50 years. Let's go 3 to 5 years. Yeah. 3 to 5 years, the world will be in a different place. And how we are prescribed medicine, how we are, the laws are written, how they're executed, like everything is going to change within the next 5 years. We don't even know who our next president is going to be. And some of us do, and some of us don't want to believe who it's going to be. But if you think that person will be in office again,
Yeah.
then we got some problems.
Oh my gosh. And you know the sad part, 2020, November 3rd, 2020, that's literally my birthday. And somebody wrote that on Facebook in the sense of just saying, oh, November 3rd, 2020.
You better bring some good luck.
Literally, I was like, this could be like the worst day in like ever. No birthday has caused me this much anxiety as this 2020 birthday. No birthday. Because it either can be like hopeful or like woeful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, usually would be exciting, like, oh, cats voting on my birthday. So by the time the night comes, we're gonna get a new president.
Right,
They're gonna count the votes in the morning, but we'll get an estimate.
Right.
Remember that last election?
No,
nobody want a birthday like that.
Real quick, where were you and what did you do when you found out that President Obama won?
Oh, when President Obama won.
Where were you and what did you do?
We were celebrating. People was running out in the street.
You were in DC?
No, I was in New York.
I was
in New York.
I was in DC. I don't remember where I was or what I was doing though.
Okay.
Huh.
So
do you remember?
It was a party. It was a party on your street.
Yes, I heard about that. Yes.
In the march.
Yes, you did.
The rally.
Nice.
I was actually at a party that me and my homegirl Kim, we actually threw an event. And we left there and walked outside, and there was a march rally party, all intertwined, going down U Street all the way to the White House. So you know where U Street is from there. Like that's a long walk, right? So it was just a party in the street, and I haven't seen anything like that since.
It was like that in New York City too.
Yeah, like multiple cities.
People high-fiving each other.
It's like love,
different races.
Energy,
like,
the energy. You talk about energy a lot. That was an energetic night.
Do you remember where you were when Trump won?
Yeah.
I went to sleep before they even announced. I saw it coming though. I said, oh.
Yeah, you just wanted to turn it off for the official call.
I was on.
I went to sleep. I said, I don't even need to watch this. Like I already know what's gonna happen. I don't. I know because remember you went to sleep that night, or they didn't announce until like
they were going to count the last votes. This is crazy.
They were like, the news outlets did not want to be like,
they didn't want to believe it.
We don't believe.
No one believed it.
No,
all right.
No. Let's
you
get
know,
to some good news, man.
Okay,
I need
well-
some positive.
Yeah,
we'll
we need it.
talk about
Positivity.
we'll talk about just for a second. We'll talk about trending, what's going on in the world. Mr. Dwayne, because he get Mr. today.
Okay.
Mr. Dwayne Wade making headlines for multiple reasons. He's not only trending, but he's also in tonight's adverse in reverse. Why? Did you guys ask why?
Yes, would like to know.
Did you see the Budweiser commercial?
Yes.
Somebody give me some tissue.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Like, did you want to cry, Aladdin?
Hold on.
Some
Hold
people
on.
cried. Did anybody tear up
Listen,
in this room?
Let me.
No.
Here we go.
You said that so fast.
If you haven't heard it, let me play it for you real quick.
It was always my dream that I'd get the chance to go to college, but we just didn't have the money. It means so much to us. And my brother Joaquin loved from the beginning. He passed away in Parkland on February 14th. One of the 17 victims.
Days before Christmas, burned down and we lost everything. I don't know, it's the points.
Your mama went down a road, Dwayne, that I didn't ever think I'd come back from. But on that road, I noticed you kept showing up. And you're coming to see about me. And Dwayne, because you believe in me. When I got out of prison, I was a different mom.
We received a phone call. Would you mind if Dwayne Wade take you and the family on a shopping spree? It just meant the world to me that you were there for us at this time. You became our hero.
A lot of the words that you said did a spark of kind of change where I was going.
Without you and your full tuition scholarship, none of this would have been possible. You're not Wade, the basketball player, the legend. You're the human being that took the time and on his own wrote my brother's name on his shoe, and you care.
When you brought your mama to church, you don't even understand
Church.
that you changed. So don't have a jersey, but I brought you this.
I don't have a jersey to trade with you, but I definitely have this. The blazer that I wore to my first outing.
My cap and gown from graduation. This is important because Joaquin wore this in his last championship. My family wanted you to have it.
Please don't forget my brother, Joaquin.
Having you as a role model has made all the difference.
One of the special roles that you gave me, Purple Silver Max roll, our role. Everybody liked it.
You completely changed the course of my life. You know, my brother was me always.
I am more proud of the man you have become than the basketball player. You are bigger than that.
Yes.
That was good onions.
Cutting onions.
Now, whether it was Pastor Jolinda, whether it was Marilyn, whether it was Joaquin, whether it was Danny, whether it was Tamar, these people were touched. They didn't have jerseys, but they did have some type of memorabilia that they wanted to.
Present to Dwayne
There you go.
to
Talk
give
to
him, his accolades as far as, what he means to them and how he touched their lives, just being the person that he is. And, for me, I think this really hit home harder when I think about Nipsey Hussle, because it's like, as people of color, we strive to make it, and then we want to give back and we want to help those because we know our community is in need at all times, and to see that he's beyond the game of basketball and that for him to get his flowers while he's alive
It's major.
it's major.
In a beer commercial. I didn't even see any beers.
Yeah.
No beers.
No, like
No beers.
whoever the person was behind this, I commend them. I applaud them because it was not only moving for us, but I can imagine also for Dwayne Wade for him
Yeah,
to be
because
able.
for those that don't know, like he
Mhm.
didn't know. They would just told him like, "Hey, look, we got a surprise for you. We just want you to come."
Mhm.
And that beginning, he's like, "Yo, I don't know who's coming. I don't know
Right. Who's
what's
coming out?
who's coming
Yeah,
out. I don't
yeah.
know what to expect. I don't
Mhm.
even know what's about to happen."
Mhm.
And to just know, like, just random strangers walk up to you and let you know, like, "Hey,
Mhm.
you
People
helped."
like-
And they weren't strangers.
They weren't,
They
yeah,
weren't
yeah,
strangers.
yeah.
But like people
Yeah.
that he met in his career
Right.
and
Who he
used
touched.
his,
Who he
who he
touched.
touched these people's
Yeah.
lives, and for him
Yeah.
to think about the college student, how much it's like for her to graduate and give him her cap and gown,
She was the first in her family.
Yeah.
and she's the first in her
First in her
family.
family,
It's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And you're right, like we should give roses while someone
Wow,
is
yeah.
alive.
So give me mine now.
So
Oh, is it too soon?
I want to tell you that every night, you know, it's been so amazing because you help me emotionally, the life and death of feelings I have. Because sometimes I love you and want to kill you at the same time, and I feel like
That's
I'm
the
alive.
deal. That's the
And I
deal.
want to thank you for that because I'm like, yo, every time I see you, you make me feel alive.
Aladdin, what you got? What you got?
What you got, Aladdin?
All right. So
Yeah.
you are the big brother that I never wanted.
I love it. I love it.
But dressed in a you're dressed in a big brother's body, but emotionally you're like a little brother.
I don't know what to do.
This is
Thank
tough.
you for allowing me to still have my hairline because it's not receding because of you. What if it was? We'd be matching and we could be twins. And I love you forever.
It's getting tough in this room.
It's getting tough. I'm trying
Oh
to.
my
But you know what?
gosh.
Dr. Dad might bring this line back. Might bring this
That
hairline
was
back,
hurtful.
baby.
You look great, so.
Thank you. I
And you
appreciate
do
it.
bring positive energy.
I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Great guy.
People
Great
tough.
guy. Thank you.
All right, are we done with this now, Zoe?
Yeah, unless you
All
guys
right,
want to
fine.
go, I'll go back
Nah.
to Dwayne Wade. So
Yeah.
we were so that was adverse and reverse, and we're trying to touch on that daily, where we give that good story, where whether
Feel
it
good.
whether it
Positive
touches us
news.
or it touches somebody around us, we want to just give that off. And if you have stories that you want to give, please call us 1-800-450-7876. Let us know because we're always looking for the reactors. But also with Dwayne Wade, it's just a lot going on for him because we touched on Magic Johnson at the top of the show, but also we this happened earlier. I think this was just past weekend where Dwayne Wade's son, I think this is his second born, his middle son, Zion, was he went to the Miami Pride Parade, and that was kind of like his coming out party, coming out parade. 11 years old. He was supported by Gabrielle Union, his brothers, his older brother, younger brothers, sister, whatever, family. They were out there to support him. 11 years old at this gay pride parade. And we had a caller that touched us yesterday, say, hey, did you guys talk about Dwayne Wade situation? And we think this is what he was speaking of.
Mhm.
So because we didn't touch on this, we want to touch on it now. Like, how soon is too soon? How young is too young when you're dealing with pride parades? Now, because we wouldn't, some people say, from the
LGBTQ.
yeah, because
This guy.
I can't keep up with all that. So, from communicate, because I got people's in that community, so
Right,
I'm not even trying to be
It's just
funny.
the letters throw you off.
Yeah,
Too
yeah,
many
yeah.
letters.
So they might say, well, you take your kids to the Dr. Martin Luther King parade.
That's a different kind of parade.
Blah, blah, blah. Right. So this parade to me, especially in Miami, is more of a party, and they get real loose and they're having fun, regardless of whatever it is. We just want to know what you guys think.
Yeah.
1-800-450-7876. We'll give our opinions and we'll hear yours when we come back on the other side.
I mean, because I didn't want to give my opinion
Oh my goodness.
before the commercial,
No.
but it's
You're
like,
still on.
it's like how do you talk about this and take a side
Mhm,
without insulting someone?
mhm,
You know what I mean?
mhm.
Because you know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll see.
It's about picking your
Are you
side.
drinking? What are you drinking?
Protein shake.
Oh, I was like, I know you drink coffee. He's got the world's biggest mug. So tell everybody what you've been up to. While we're in our
guys,
commercial.
I've been trying to see how much I can transform my body in 60 days.
Yeah.
Are
So
you
I've
working
been
out every
eating,
day?
almost 4 times a week.
4 times a week.
4 times
Okay.
a week. Eating as healthy as possible, doing meal replacement, protein shakes, drinking little to as zero as possible.
That's tough.
It's tough. It's
Zero.
definitely been. I said little to as little to zero. I'm not saying.
And you work in the
and
club.
I work in the club.
Right.
Yeah, so, but yeah, it's just been just a testament to will, just telling myself I can do it. Just,
Major.
I feel I
Yeah.
feel like I have to get ready for whatever the next phase of my life is going to be.
That's right.
So,
And
mind,
which,
body, and soul.
and which meals are you cutting out? Like you
Well,
supplementing?
I actually have to eat more. So it's crazy because when you're actually trying to lose weight and cut up,
Right,
you
you
actually
eat
gotta
more.
eat more.
Mhm.
So I'm supposed to eat like at least 4 or 5 times a day.
Oh, and you're adding in protein. as one
Well,
of
so
meals.
but the great thing is, so like I'm supposed to drink these 3 times a day. So that
Oh,
counts for
wow.
like 3 meals. So like that plus 2 meals is considered 5.
I
And then
got you.
snacks and stuff.
That's
is
sweet.
20.
Snacks!
Yeah.
You know, I love snacks.
So
And are you working with a trainer?
I am working with the trainer.
Well, nice. All right, we'll see. Day 41.
Day 41.
That's Aladdin. Now here's
Yes.
Zoe. Zoe's working on naps.
Ain't doing shit.
So don't hey, don't
Oh.
curse on my online.
Okay, yeah,
Sorry.
YouTube,
Yes. Don't
But
curse.
look, the shoulder's coming in.
Let me see you working out. Oh, press it again.
This is what I'm gonna do.
Oh
Shoulders are
man, press
coming in.
play. Your back looking strong.
Yeah.
No, right?
Yeah.
So
Let
it
me
means
see.
like,
Yeah, your upper body, you can see a lot. Look at you. You should post that.
I did.
Oh, I didn't see it. Oh, it's yours. What do you say?
It is what it is. I do what I do.
All right, Zoe, listen. There are small kids that watch this.
Really?
Yes, that's why I said don't curse on my thing.
I think
man.
I wasn't cursing.
Oh, okay. I can't tell what's happening. I'm watching Aladdin in the gym, which is way more exciting. Go, Aladdin, go! Look at Zoe. He's going. And you're going really fast, too. Yeah, I'm proud of you. What gym are you in?
Sports fit boy.
Oh, okay. You're in LA Fitness, I say. Let's get it in.
Get it in.
Oh, let's get back. So on Aladdin. Nice.
Uh-huh.
We got comments. Comment. Let us know what you think. Let's go.
Okay, us.
So
Snacks. Long hair mother lover.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen, right here on Adverse Reaction 1450 WOL 95.9 FM and worldwide on
WLDCnews.com.
Yes.
Yeah, we like a choir.
Listen.
like a choir.
And as well as on YouTube Live at Danella Now. But we were talking about Dwayne Wade, his son, that is
Zion.
11 years old. I guess had his
Coming out, yeah.
at the Miami Gay Parade, supported by his family and
Oh,
friends.
Zoe's son came in. Let me read off a couple comments for
Yeah, yeah.
YouTube. Okay, it looks like
Well, before you read
Okay,
the
go.
comments, so the question on the floor is,
I can't have my son come
it's
in while
11
we talk
years
about
old.
sun coming out.
Oh, come on, get out of here. We know Lozo like the ladies. All right.
Yeah.
So the question on the floor is, is 11 years old too soon to allow your child to partake in something that is
specifically Gay Pride Parade.
Yeah.
And some of the concerns is because I've been to, I think it's Gay Pride parades are awesome. But if I had to characterize it, I would say that it is a free love. I always feel that it's just like a free love parade. But we're going to go to YouTube real quick. YouTube Live. It looks like Doctor's DRS7, she said this, or he don't mad. It seems such a parade should be for 18 and up. Keita says, I think it's inappropriate too much adult activities for the
That's
kids.
what I'm thinking.
Go, oh, she shot you out. Go Aladdin. And
I
said,
know,
so what are you
that's
doing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah. The thing is, you know, when you go to a gay pride parade, I think it's beautiful love. But sometimes people are topless. Sometimes, you know, the tight is short and you can see, can you say, well, I can say this, male genitalia prints. Like that's how tight these shorts are.
But
when
you might see at a regular straight parade.
I'm not saying it's gay or straight. I'm
Right.
saying
Do you
it's
think it's
free
just
love.
more-
It's free love.
I'm not saying
Right.
anything
It's
about
more accented.
I don't care.
yeah.
I
It's a
don't
party.
care.
It's a party.
But let me just say, normally I can't tell if a male is circumcised or not
Whoa.
on the regular parade.
Whoa, how did we go?
Because that's what I'm
Well,
saying. In the
that's
parade,
how-
on
that's how
the
tight the shorts
that's how
are.
tight the shorts are.
Right.
And so I love it because it's like fun and free. But like if we're talking about 11,
Did you have your glasses on when you?
No.
You just can tell that without your glasses. If they were
sometimes you
circumcised or
see
uncircumcised?
danglings dangling.
Yes.
So you ain't been to Pride? Y'all haven't
No.
been to Pride?
No.
No pride
What
No,
am I
anywhere.
actually,
proud
I
for?
went to. a
It's
pride parade
awesome.
in New York. I went with my best friend.
Yes.
Cause she was.
Okay.
She still is.
Okay.
Yeah.
No? All right,
I
fine.
don't
Whatever. It
know.
doesn't matter.
Yeah,
So sometimes you come and go.
Yeah,
All right. I,
guess.
don't even
But
want to
with that
get
being
in those
said,
semantics to
Yeah.
me. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think it doesn't matter to me about LGBTQ or not. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
For me, I think that the love expression is too adult for little kids.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I
Maybe
think I
her
side with you on
child.
that one.
Yeah, maybe her child. I mean, when I think 11 is younger, but maybe Dwayne Wade's son and Gabrielle Union's stepson, same child. What if this child is more adult? Like maybe he has
I
had
see, that's-
sexual,
and-
what's those classes? Sex ed.
Yeah,
Like, maybe this is
I was
normal.
going to say I differ with you guys on that opinion because I think that it depends on the maturity of your child.
Right.
You know, I think
Yeah.
they would know that they were like, okay, you know, we think this is appropriate.
Mhm.
And the fact that they were there to support,
Mm-hmm.
I think that speaks volumes to just, you know, where they are as far as making him feel comfortable
Because
about
that
his
I think
choice.
is beautiful.
Well, okay, so I'm going with what you're saying, but
Right.
I'm thinking about in Miami and how that parade is goes. Like just
Well, I mean,
watching a
well,
video, just
well,
watching the video footage.
Right.
I didn't watch too long, but just watching a little bit of it, just seeing it's more of a party than a necessarily like a rally or like we're
Parts
fighting
of it,
for our rights.
But in
Yeah.
fairness, parts of it turns into that because they'll do usually a stage portion,
yeah,
and also
and it's okay
they
if,
can
if
chant
they do
as
all
well.
of
It's
it. It's okay
it's
if they
there.
do all of it, but I don't know.
It just depends on what part, whoever you saw the video from,
Yeah,
where they
it's,
were.
It's just like I'm not taking my son or my daughter to the club, and not saying
It is.
that's the-
It is a club. It's a party.
turns into
in
a
the-
club.
Yeah, it's awesome in that way.
you know, it's tricky. It's tricky. It's
Tough.
tricky.
Aladdin taking his child to the club.
And see, this is where the difference in culture comes in because in Trinidad,
It's a
you
party.
start.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
always
Baby
you
carnival. What's
start.
your baby
Yeah.
You know what I'm
carnival called?
saying? It's Trinidad Carnival.
With the
You know what I'm
baby
saying?
one. They do a baby toddler one. My mother-in-law's like, we gotta get KJ. I'm like, it's a parade. And that, you know, they
Yeah,
follow the
they-
band. It's
yeah, they-
follow
yeah.
I can't think of the name of it. You know what I'm talking about?
I didn't know it was a baby.
It's
Just
a big,
'cause
it's like playing mass, but like for
It's probably
kids,
the same weekend.
toddlers,
It's probably
same
the same
time.
know. I don't know
It's
if
in the
it's-
morning. Yeah, in the
Yeah.
morning, then the adults have
I don't
one.
know if
Yeah.
it's a special name for that.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean,
I
they
can't
have it,
remember.
but yeah, so you
I'm
know,
scared. They're like, it's appropriate. I'm like,
it is. Yeah, it's.
but
crazy,
you guys
but
whine on each other.
exactly. So it's and that's
Right.
and
Moms,
that's
moms,
Well,
kids,
moms,
uncles,
kids,
aunts, on your
exactly.
nephews.
So
I'm like,
no, it's
like I'm
serious, but
touching
it's
them.
in
This
love.
is
Like
gross.
it's not. It's
Yeah,
not.
it's not
Yeah,
sexual.
It's not sexual.
I mean, it looks sexual, but it's not in the. I'm just saying, when you see people
It
dancing,
looks.
white,
It definitely
it does.
looks
Like
sexual.
if you're not of the culture, it definitely looks sexual.
Right.
But it is literally a just joyous. We are partying,
So
having
Right.
fun
That's
together.
how you
It
get-
is,
that's how you
yeah.
get-
Dance, yeah,
Yeah.
and
It's
that's
like dollar
what it
wine.
is.
You know
Yeah,
dollar wine, but like with your
yeah.
parents, it's
Yeah,
weird to me.
yeah.
That's
we, don't,
like weird.
we don't do that in Jersey. We don't do that in
Don't do
Chicago. We don't do
Yeah,
that.
so
Yeah,
it's
man.
Like with your mom.
No, we
and
no, we
stuff
do like
that.
we
No,
get
but
all
I mean,
those
like-
2-step, you know what I mean? But like,
But it's
Yeah,
normal.
but it
Aladdin
is,
is
it
like
is,
it's normal.
it
We're
is,
just
it's
as
very
Americans
normal,
not used
yeah.
to that.
Mm.
It
you know?
is. So that's where it's like, ah,
So you would take your child. I
Absolutely.
think that's for us. Like
Mhm.
Zoe and I are kind of like more American culture in the sense that we're thinking 11 years old may be not emotionally developed enough to understand all of the various expressions of
Correct.
freedom that can happen at a pride
And do
parade.
you
And not that
know-
we're against, I'm not against pride parades. I think they're beautiful. I'm just saying, is an
You keep saying
11-year-old.
you had
I
some real
love
good
it.
times.
It was, I still got pictures on my phone from, and I also lived in New York. And so where I was freshman year through senior year, was where the path of the gay pride in
Mhm.
New York.
Mhm.
So for me, it was more of like, man, I'm trying to get somewhere, everybody's blocking, but the love, oh my gosh, people just you just
happy.
walk on the street and they just love you. And I think that part of it is
that's
beautiful.
to me, that's like all the parades that I've been involved to watch. I think that is there.
Theirs is on 100.
Well, there, you know why? Because they feel like they are suppressed
Correct.
and oppressed.
Because I'm just saying, I've never
Suppressed
felt
and
the
oppressed.
level of love from strangers,
Mhm.
right? Just how
Mhm.
they just greet one another on the street.
Mhm.
But for me, the concern is like when some people, because you get drunk, you drink. Like some people do, not everybody,
Mhm.
but some people do, and it's kind of like, is that appropriate? But I guess we have to leave it to the parents, and maybe for him, he is.
But you know
able to
what? You
handle
know
that.
what? It's different like this. So say if that parade was in DC, or say if that
Mhm.
parade was in Cleveland, or,
Mhm.
but because it's in Miami, and we already know how Miami goes, we all know, because we've all been to Miami, how Miami goes, period, regardless of parade, spring break, a regular weekend.
Sunday, yeah.
It's a party, especially South Beach. It's a party all the
Mm.
time, right? So Miami Beach as a whole is a party. And I can't, if Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union was cool with him doing that, and this was his coming out party, I can't tell no parent how to raise their child. But, I just want to know what you guys thought and what our reactors thought, because, that could be, a little tricky for us, because sometimes these kids, especially at 11 years old, you don't know if you this, that, or that.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I
mean,
think it speaks to the level of trust between parents and child.
Well, let's say this, guys. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. Thank you to everyone that's on YouTube Live that have chimed in. Those of you that are listening, we'll be back tomorrow. We're talking about this tomorrow?
no, but you keep your rainbow shining bright.
I will.
Love it. Thank you guys so much. If you want to get in touch with us at Aladdin the Prince on Instagram, you can follow Danella at Danella Now. And we are gone. Thank you guys so much for listening to 1450 WOL, where information is
Ooh, Lord. That was fun. Thank you, YouTube Livers. How exciting. Thank you, Keita. And I love that you guys are talking to one another. And
Tell them keep that rainbow shining bright.
DRS7, Dr. 7.
Tell Dr. Is that a guy or girl?
I don't know. But thank you. I'll see you guys again soon. This is my first time doing YouTube Live.
I didn't even know we had YouTube Live now.
We have
This is a
YouTube Live.
This is
Yeah.
a game changer.
I know I'm going to try to do
This
it more
is a
often.
game
Isn't that fun?
changer.
So it's all of our first time together. So thank you guys.
We've
for
heard
you.
chiming in.
First
Oh,
time
Holy
together,
One
but-
is finally on there. Where you been?
We've heard.
I was looking for you. I probably should have told you earlier. Holy One is one of my subscribers. He always gives me a lot of feedback on the podcast.
Nice.
Thank you.
Holy One missed it.
I know he missed it. Well, maybe he didn't. Apparently,
Well,
this
no,
will
but we have-
live.
with the
This
live-
lives
with
in
the-
your
with the
post.
live, you can save it and then it just goes straight
Yes.
to YouTube, right?
So we'll see what happens.
Oh, this is a
Game changer. Oh my God. And guess who won't feel the game changer? This guy. Because he's
This
not
guy.
even on social media.
Right here, this guy right here.
Right.
I shouldn't show that right now.
You're inappropriate. You can't be on this channel anymore. Guys, be blessed, be safe. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you soon. Woo, we did it! Yeah.